Rising, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my space. Welcome back to my world. I'm glad to have you. I appreciate you coming back. For those who are new, I welcome you too. Now, let's get started. If you see me staring off to the right or constantly looking to my right or whatever, the case may be, I'm always taking notes. I'm always prepping for my videos, putting my thoughts down, um, things that I just want to fully express and share with you guys. So just bear with me. Did drink water earlier, but I guess my throat said we need some more. Okay. Mm. All right, so this is my journey from religion to a personal spirituality. This is my story, not my sermon. So, first off, my channel isn't trying to convince people to adopt my beliefs. I'm just documenting a journey, how my thinking has evolved over time. That lines up beautifully with my channel's philosophy. I'm not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think. Okay, so mm, first question, or not question, um, first line of thought that I would like to discuss about my journey didn't take me away from God, the Most High. It just brought me closer. And what I literally mean by that is let me just kind of go back and just tell you about how it was for me growing up in religion. So I've always been the questionable, uh, the questioning type of child. Always had questions, but I was quieted because I guess, in the eyes of an elder in my family, me asking about God, what was that question? Now, I've got some older videos and I've discussed this in older videos, but I had a question in reference to God and I got hit in the mouth. I could not understand what I said wrong, what I did wrong in that. But I guess it hit a sensitive spot. And really, it did not make it no better for me. You know, I get it. Religion, people's religions and faith, people are willing to defend it or discipline harshly. But that does not necessarily mean that that child will stick to it. Okay? Because for me, I know some people say, well, my child or my grandchild is still a believer to this day. There are some people like myself entering into this dimension that may have come to make changes on their end. Okay? And you may think of me as the rebellious type, but no, I've always, it's not rebellious, it's about curiosity. Because if I have questions in me, I just felt like at that time, I need to hold these questions in until I can move out. That's basically where my mindset was. Um, what religion gave me, honestly, growing up younger, doubts. I had a lot of doubts about it. It wasn't consistent for me, um, as far as how people go to church. And when I did decide I'm going to consistently go to church, it just seems like the way the universe is built, the architecture, there's or my mission, the architecture of my universal mission was to interrupt that type of discipline. Now, this is just me. This is my experience. I'm giving it to you out of my mind and how I think. Because, like I said, uh, I don't care how hard I was disciplined, to me, it did not discipline me in a way where I'm gonna stick with this. I'm like, oh no, this this is way too harsh for me. This uh this still have not answered my question. I still don't have my questions answered. And even if I had the questions answered, my analytical mind would like to break stuff down and will continue to ask questions. So, religion, what religion gave me is more like traditions. I was able to see traditions, learn certain rituals that I am beginning to break. Um, it was just, it, it felt like I was in a jail cell. I did not feel free. It did not give me freedom. I did start asking questions like, there's more to this religion than this. Because as I got older as a child, in my preteen years, teenage years, I started to really get away because, and I just some of the things that I saw that I thought, oh, I thought religion was like this. It was like if you break the law, say you break half the law, you didn't give me the full effect of abiding by the law, you've broken the law still. You're not fully true. And I could dissect my thinking on that. And in my mind, and why I thought a certain way about certain things, I couldn't tell you. It's just I do feel like I was not meant to stay stuck in certain traditions, basically. And um, I'm not saying your religion is bad. I'm not even saying it was bad for me. It was a level of learning that I needed to learn. I um, needed to understand something about Christianity. I needed to, as I got older, converting over to Islam, there are some things I learned from that. Um, I started to learn, even when I became converted over to other religions or learning about other religions, I felt like I was getting closer to something else, more like the spirituality, the spirit version of me. I've always had certain experiences as a child and growing up, period. Still now, I have certain experiences. They have not stopped. It's just I've become more aware, more open to knowing, and feeling like I have not just an understanding, I have an overstanding and an understanding of my spirituality and why it was important for me. So if you want to prove I've said something, show me saying the whole thing. I said to me, okay? Religion was just a stepping stone for me getting closer to my authenticity and being more aware of my spirituality and learning more about the spirit world because I was having a lot of experiences with what some people call the unknown, the etheric realm, or what's that word they use for spirit? I can't think of it right now, but if I could think of it, I'll probably put it on here. And if you don't see it, then I didn't remember. I couldn't think of it. Okay. Now, why my relationship with the creator became more personal? Because certain things that were being said, we are in the image and we were made in the image and after the likeness of our creator. So let me just say it like this. If I came through my mom and I can look in the mirror and see I look like my mom, I have certain ways like my mom, then I can confidently believe more in me, which is why if I am in the image and after the likeness of my creator, I can look at me and see my creator in me, have the image and likeness, and be creative like my creator. It brought me even more closer in having a personal relationship from within. But yes, still, I was still looking outside of myself to make sure. Now, in my mind at that time, it wasn't about making sure. It was just still me fully engrossed in looking outside of myself. So why I started looking within instead of looking around me, as I stated, it was just my experiences with my religion. Something in me made me feel like it was more to it. That's why I first had to look outside of myself. Uh, Reading books, studying books, going to churches and synagogues, seeking out teachers. And I came in contact with the most profound teacher and still have much respect for all of the teachers that has brought me to me. So it is not to discredit any religions, any churches, synagogues, temples, or any other thing or else other name that you may want to call it. It was just my journey. So I can't speak on anybody else's journey. I can only speak on my journey. So all the gurus, the podcasts, uh, just made me realize maybe the answers I've been looking for have been developing inside of me all along. Still, just bits and pieces, I would look within when it was time to reflect on experiences. Not even realize that that was the small minute that was needed to at least know that I'm going inside of myself when I reflect. I always think about what things I need to change. What am I seeking? What am I looking for? What do I need from me? Okay. Um, Also, I just trying to think because there was something I was about to say, but it'll probably come back to me. But so the older I got, the less I felt like I had all the answers. So in my 20s, I thought I knew. And I'm gonna tell you something. Every time I learned something new that it made me go, wow, aha, had that aha moment or uh, a self-realization, hint, hint, self-realization going inside of me, thinking, always thinking. And I'm telling you, in most societies, at least I felt like in this society, they didn't want you to think. It's like that's why they had a system of learning set up. So you just not think, you just focus on building their wealth. I feel like the most important wealth is the richness and goodness and knowledge and wisdom that you gain. So in my 20s, I thought I knew all because new things I learned, I was so quick to want to discuss it, teach it, debate it. I was just so excited. And still to this day, whenever I learn something new, instead of just be so quick to share it, I think on it now, and then I'll consider later whether it's good, okay or not to just share. Because some things is just meant for meant for me. Um, at 30, life started to humble me. I started to feel, experience more of things that um, I was experiencing as a child, spiritual things, paranormal things. It started to come to me more, and it was allowing me to really look at it like, okay, this is because as a child, I thought I was hallucinating, and I just thought, oh, just a heightened um, paranoia part of me from watching so many scary movies. I thought I was just scaring myself. But when I got into my late 20s, early 30s, I started to have more of like these spiritual paranormal experiences. I would talk about them, but I started to even realize by the time I reached my 40s, um, I needed to keep a lot of this stuff to myself because people probably thinking I was crazy, or they were just the way they was questioning me and talking to me as if they was talking to someone was cuckoo. So now at 50, I've become more comfortable with the mysteries. I've gained a little more wisdom, and that's wisdom I appreciate. I'm still, I say I institute a lot of what I've learned. I institute that keeping it to myself scenario or system of thought to myself. That's going to be my own system of learning. I'm just so much willing to come more in touch with my own authenticity. So in my now that I'm in my 50s and I'm experiencing a lot of these menopausal symptoms, my experience, my mindset, of course, hormones in my body is changing, but I'm experiencing and sometimes I get a little jittery hearing things. It seems like my hearing has magnified. I don't know if I'm getting more trash in my eyes or I'm really like seeing things, and I have to look not just a double take, but a triple and quadruple take and make sure, because even when I think I've seen something and look back, focus back at what I'm looking at, I still feel like I'm seeing something. But yet, these are just my experiences. And this is just how my brain is processing because over the years I've always experienced things. I stopped trying to win spiritual debates. So I used to try to defend my beliefs, as I said earlier, debate people, get excited and want everything that I learn, I'm willing to share or open to share, too open to share, and started to realize that now I just simply observe, and a lot of the stuff is not meant for everybody. Because not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody believe that. A lot of people have their beliefs. And I started to, even in my 30s, really put in the practice of not comparing myself to others or comparing them back to me. Thinking just because it happens to me, or that's what I should do, everybody else should do. And everybody else have their own journey, and it's really personal. At least for me, it's personal. So even as a Christian, when I was a Christian, I really didn't feel like no Christian, but I used to wonder if, because at that time when I was young, I felt like a slave to that religion, getting in trouble, getting spanked because I didn't behave in the church, sit quietly, or want to ask questions. Um, it just I didn't feel free, and I like my freedom. I do understand, overstand, and understand. Being in this world, there are rules that the majority uphold. And one step out of line, um, there could be some repercussions and consequences behind it. So, in this space, in my own home space, so I just want to feel a certain amount of peace and freedom from all that other stuff. Again, I came to understand everyone's journey is different. For me, it is personal, and I can't say everybody's, because some people may not believe it's personal for them. I'd rather simply observe and listen and then open up about certain things when it's meant to, like somebody else having certain experiences and they feel a need to vent or ask questions about it. Faith, religion, spirituality, they're not the same thing um, to me. Again, I spoke on religion to me was more like rituals being learned, a certain type of discipline. Faith is more like truly knowing in self something can be done. Spirituality to me is more like, for me, all of this is about me right now, sharing my experience and observations. Spirituality is fully understanding and understanding that I'm not just a physical being, that I do understand the essence of spirit. And not everybody believes they have a spirit. I also feel like that spirit is also comes from me with a soul, where I can feel more deeply about things, music, poetry, love. So basically, this is my understanding and how I'm expressing it to help you understand what I understand. The quietest lessons changed my life. It wasn't a sermon, it wasn't a book or a viral speaker. I've had to deal with some grief, silence, being in silence, being alone, experiencing dreams, dreaming since I was a child through meditation, nature. Did I say reflecting? Watching and observing people, myself, making mistakes, which all is, excuse me, feels authentic to me. Especially observing myself and others, especially. And through those observations, I go back and I reflect. I think about even the mistakes, think about things I've said. I reflect back on everything to make sure, is that me? How did it make the other person feel? Or what is the other person thinking? So, excuse me, this is how I process change. I'm more interested in truth than being right. I've reached a place where proving I'm right isn't as important as continuing to learn. Proving I'm right isn't as important as it is learning. Because even sometimes when I'm in the wrong, it takes a minute for me to, I mean, I still get emotional about it when someone trying to tell me I'm wrong, but then I still have to, I still have to set my pride to the side and really think about what was said to me or how the other person felt about it or what they're going through, the consequences behind certain decisions that was made, whether I said it or did it. So um, I've been wanting to make this video because over the years, people have asked me what I believe. The truth is, my beliefs have changed over the years. My feelings have changed over the years. How I think have changed over the years. How I act has changed over the years. And why is that? It's because I take time to reflect back on things to make sure what was the lesson in my experiences and why I experienced them. Why this happened to me? And how does it make me feel? Should I continue to do this? Making sure I'm not comparing myself to someone else. Am I doing this because of someone else? Or because of what someone else said? But really paying attention to, is this really and truly me and how I think? Because I could care less. I know people try to make me think like they think, or thinking just because they do it and they tell it to me, I have to remind myself, well, maybe that's how they think. Is that really what I want to do? Is that really me? Because even my children will express how they feel about things as if it's to indoctrinate me. And still, I have to remain me. I might take it into consideration, but eventually, if I start to feel some kind of way about it, already I'm doubting if that's for me. Is that really authentically me? So, religion taught me about traditions and rituals. Life taught me hands-on, experiencing, experiencing failures and the hard knocks of those experiences. Experiences taught me skills, gave me tests, lessons, then the tests. Um, it also taught me change. Silence taught me acceptance and how to enjoy my own peace and freedom. Pain taught me not to do it again and how to heal it. So I've learned everyone's path is different. Questioning or asking questions isn't dangerous, or questions aren't dangerous. Growth requires honesty to you, being true to you, or true to me. Because I'm not trying to make it about you guys, because this is really based on my observation and experiences. Um, it is okay for me to disagree respectfully, and spirituality became very personal because spirituality is, to me, is personal when you recognize it, because not everybody recognizes spirituality. Um, is me having an association and a partnership with my own spirit, the spirit side of me, acknowledging that part of me. And again, I don't expect anyone watching this to believe exactly what I believe. This is not that. Again, my channel's theme is, I'm not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think. And even though I want you to think, it's up to you to still utilize your cognitive psychology. I'm not trying to convert anyone to be like me, talk like me, think like me. I'm simply sharing the road I've walked. If it encourages you to think more deeply about your own journey, then this conversation was worth having. All right, folks, I got to go. I'm out of breath. I think you get the gist of this video. And all of my videos is just me sharing my observations and experiences and enjoying the conversations with you all, getting it out. All right, I'm out. Gotta go. See you later. Ciao. Bella.